Think about the last time you cried at something wonderful: a wedding, a reunion, a moment of pure pride. Your body used the exact same reaction it uses for grief. Happy tears and sad tears are biologically almost the same event. The difference isn't in the tears, it's in what triggered them. Not all tears are the same. Basal tears keep your eyes lubricated all day. Reflex tears appear when you cut an onion or get dust in your eye. Emotional tears are a completely different category, triggered not by irritation but by the brain's own emotional circuitry. Researchers have found emotional tears contain a different chemical makeup than reflex tears, including stress-related hormones your body may be trying to release. But here's the key detail: this chemical signature shows up in emotional tears generally. It doesn't distinguish between a tear of grief and a tear of joy. So, if the tears themselves don't know the difference, what actually triggers crying? Researchers increasingly point to one thing: intensity. Crying tends to happen when an emotion crosses a threshold your nervous system can't quietly absorb anymore, regardless of whether that emotion is devastating or wonderful. Grief obviously crosses that threshold. But so does overwhelming relief, overwhelming pride, or a reunion you weren't sure would ever happen. Your body isn't asking, is this good or bad? It's asking, is this more than I can process quietly right now? Psychologist Oriana Aragon at Yale studies a phenomenon she calls dimorphous expressions, cases where an emotion and its outward expression don't visually match at all. Her research found something strange. People shown extremely cute images often said things like, "I could just squeeze it," or even pretended to bite, aggressive sounding words for a purely positive feeling. Crying from joy appears to work the same way. When positive emotion gets too intense, the body seems to borrow expressions from its opposite system to bring itself back into balance. In other words, happy tears might be your nervous system's way of hitting the brakes on an emotion that's spiking too fast in either direction. Look closely at the moments that reliably make people cry happy tears, and almost all of them share something in common. They're not pure joy. They're joy tangled up with something bittersweet. A wedding is a beginning, but it's also a visible ending of one chapter of a family's life. A graduation is pride, but it's also a goodbye to years that will never happen again. A long-awaited reunion is relief, but it's also a reminder of exactly how much time and how much worry came before it. Dutch psychologist Ad Vingerhoets, one of the leading crying researchers, found that most crying episodes share a common thread: a feeling of being overwhelmed combined with a sense of losing control. That's true whether the loss of control comes from devastating news or from a feeling too good to fully contain. Crying may serve two jobs at once. Physically, it appears to help calm the nervous system back down after a spike, a kind of built-in reset button. Socially, visible tears are also a powerful, hard-to-fake signal, very similar to blushing, that reliably pulls comfort, closeness, or shared celebration from the people around you. Newborns cry constantly, but not with tears. Reflex crying for hunger, discomfort, or overstimulation starts at birth. Actual emotional tears don't appear until roughly 6 to 12 weeks of age, once the tear ducts mature and early emotional circuitry comes online. In other words, the capacity to cry from feeling rather than just from need is something your brain had to grow into. Crying frequency varies enormously between individuals and even across the same person's life. Hormonal differences may play a role. Prolactin, a hormone involved in crying, tends to run higher in women on average, though researchers caution the full picture is still not settled. Culture and upbringing matter enormously too. Many people are taught early on when crying is acceptable and when it should be held back. None of that makes frequent criers more emotional or infrequent criers less emotional. It just means the threshold and the permission look different from person to person. So the next time you cry at something wonderful, a song, a reunion, a proud parent's face, remember what's actually happening. It's not confusion and it's not weakness. It's your nervous system using its oldest tool, to say this is too much good feeling to hold quietly. The tears don't know if the moment was happy or sad, they only know that it mattered. This channel digs up one forgotten why every week, the hidden reasons behind things we do without ever asking. Subscribe, and next time we'll ask why we get a song stuck in our head for days and can't make it stop.